Good morning, everybody. The last day of build. We all made it. There is a secret I want to tell you about the last day of a conference. The vendors are going to give out all their swag. They are going to just throw it at you. So if you want anything, if you want it twice, you want it 3 times, just go out there and grab it. It is theirs for the taking. So you heard it here first. It's early in the morning, so it's still fresh out there, too. All right. So today we are going to be talking about media streaming apps with Xamarin. So my name is Matt Sokup. I am a cloud developer advocate at Microsoft, or a CDA as we like to call ourselves. And I'm going to jump into a demo right away, real quick here. Open up Azure app, and I'm going to screen share this Android device. And so what we're going to be showing off today is a reviewing application. This reviewing application is going to let us take, well, reviews of different restaurants or whatnot. So this app right here, as I have, a review of walk around the yard. So I can see various things that are in my yard. Photos, you can't see it because still media streaming apps. All right, so, and show. And it's going to come up. How about right there? All right. In the middle. All right, you can see various things, such as photos of things that we've taken. And, of course, what we're all here for is videos. So it comes up, and you take videos of things that you can see, and it's streaming. So I'm going to want to do one thing that everybody here is going to have to help me out with right off the bat. And, of course, is we're going to be taking a video. And so it's a pretty decent crowd, and it's a loud conference, so I'm going to have you all be loud as we take a video of everybody. So 1, 2, 3, we're recording. Hey, yeah! All right. So we'll be using that later. And we're back. So media streaming apps. How do we do it? The keystone of everything here is Azure Media Services. So one thing that Azure Media Services gives us is on-demand and live video streaming. So the difference between the two is live media streaming, you can think of something like Twitch, where you're going live and people are able to watch you right away. Where on-demand is something like I just showed you with that giraffe video, where you're able to save it up to the server, and you're able to broadcast it via like MPEG- or HLS video streaming. So people are able to go in and tune in later, but it's broadcast not all at once, where they're not downloading a whole MP4 file, but they're getting it in segments going away. It also offers, in addition to the streaming, studio-grade encoding. So when you upload an MP4 file there, it's going to encode it, split it up, and you can tell it exactly how you want it to encode it. You can say, all right, I want this to do H.264 at a certain frame rate, and compress it to a certain screen size. You can tell it how you want to do its audio, and you can say, all right, I want to take thumbnails out of it too. It also gives you content protection and encryption when you encode it. And it also gives you an AMS player, Azure Media Services player. So if you're doing a web app and you want people to stream online, there's already a built-in player, so you don't have to reincorporate that. For a mobile app, I'm using something a little bit different than that, and we'll get into it later. But there is something built in to AMS as well that you can use. So how are we going to build this up? I'm using Xamarin and Xamarin Forms with the traditional MVVM bindings and such. And I'll have a link later so you can download the whole demo application running. On the Azure side of things, I'm using Azure Functions in the middle of everything. In addition, I'm also using Azure Blob Storage, Azure Cosmos DB as the schema to hold all the reviews and the various businesses and whatnot, and also Azure message queues to go back and forth when something's done. I'm going to send a message to let it know it's finished. Azure Functions has neat things such as input bindings. So it can say, all right, when a blob is ready to go, I can say, here's the Cosmos DB record that's ready for it, that we want to put into it. Or output bindings. I can write to a specific Cosmos DB record, or I can write to a message queue. And also triggers. This is how you kick off an Azure function. So a blob gets written or a message queue gets written. So we're going to look at each one of these two as we build this up. So not only are we going to look at the Xamarin Forms app and how to do media encoding and how to upload to Blob storage, but also the Azure Functions. So we're going to go from really 0 to a full media streaming on-demand app. So how is this all going to work? What's our workflow? How is it going to flow? Of course, we have to take the video. We just did that. We took the video. Then there is we're going to hit Azure Functions to get a key to write to Blob storage. We're going to send it up to Blob storage. And then there's going to be another Azure function that kicks off and does our AMS encoding. And then it publishes it on AMS so people can consume it later. When it's done publishing to AMS, we kick off a message queue that lets yet another function know, write it to our backend, Azure Cosmos, so everything is finally readable and streamable in our mobile app. So that's the workflow that we're going to take for this particular app. So let's get into it. The rest is going to be coding. So first thing is first, we are going to go into Visual Studio. I'm going to bump up the font size so everybody can see this. Is that big enough? Can we see it in back? Or a little bit bigger, maybe? OK. I am going to start debugging it on my Nexus 5. So the first thing I'm going to do, as it starts up, I'm going to start talking about the code, is that I'm going to want to hit as soon as I hit, I'm running all with MVVM, so commanding. And so as soon as I hit the execute take video command, it's going to pop up and ask me, using the cross media, there's a media plugin that extracts how to do media files from Android and iOS, so I can do it in my core project. So I don't have to worry about the exact implementation details. So I'm going to say, hey, is my take video supported? And is the camera there? And if so, I'm going to say, all right, I'm going to ask the user, you want to take video? Or I'm going to say, do I want to, if pick video supported, do I want to pick the video? And then I'm going to get into the way that we handle the is busy, and then I'm going to display the action sheet. Then based on what their answer is, I'm going to either say how to store the video if we're going to be taking, so compression quality, custom size, or just pick it. So this right here, take video async and pick video async, that's all I worry about on the Xamarin Forms side. So that's going into the platform-specific side and doing what it needs to do on iOS or Android. And the Xamarin Forms developer, I don't care. Or if I'm doing Xamarin Traditional, this is in my core project, I don't care how it's going on the platform side. This is all I need to worry about. So let's run it. Bring this back up. Show that. And I'm going to go into this build, because we're here at build. And then right here, there's already a media streaming apps with Azure and Xamarin review by this Matt Sokup CDA person. And he said, media and streaming apps with Azure and Xamarin was a great, great session. Hot, hot, hot. Nobody? That was me. I put that in this morning. I knew the session would be great. All right. Anyways, I'm going to go through and I'm going to edit it. And down below, I have a video. I'm going to click on it, and we start breaking in. And I'm going to set a breakpoint down here where I actually do the uploading. And then jump back out here. Oops. Continue running it. Pick the video. Go to camera. And we are at, I believe this is the one we want. And now it says, all right, we picked it. We come down here. We have a media stream. And it says, all right, I'm going to upload to Blob storage, which is right here. So this is how I'm going to upload it to Blob storage. It is, first off, I'm going to do this obtain the Blob storage credentials, which is going to go off and hit a Azure function. And I'll show that when we go off into the Azure function world, because I have another computer here on Windows side, which I'm going into demo terrible territory by switching back and forth between computers. Anyways, we get the credentials, and then I'm using, on the client side, there is a storage NuGet. So once I get to here, it's uploading for me. We can see we're spinning, and I'm hoping my Wi-Fi sticks in. Cross your fingers, otherwise I'm going to just have to be talking through the code. All right, finally we get here. We got the storage credentials. The function probably had to wake up at this point. So now I'm just using NuGet to create a Blob client and so on and so forth to put it up there. So there we go. Now the NuGet is up there. I'm going to switch over to Windows. And here we go. My mouse up here is for Windows. And I have an Azure function that's called AMS ingest. And what I was talking about here is I have a Blob trigger. And this Blob trigger is looking for just file names that end with MP4. And it's looking in this review photos container, which is nothing like, you can think of a review photos as a folder. So it found it. And it's putting this file name into this file name variable. So just the way I defined the Azure function, I am setting it up so I can pull things out of Azure Storage and use them later. So my file name, once I will F10 down, I have it. It's this good.mp4. I also, when I uploaded it, in the Blob metadata, I gave it the review ID, or the ID of that review for the session. That way I can have it later. And then I'm doing a bunch of Azure AD token credentials. And this is just so I can authenticate to Azure Media Services. That's all boilerplate stuff, and it's all documented. And then the link I'll show at the end of the slide will have links to the documentation to see this. So then later, when we go, I'm going to actually make sure I have another breakpoint set down here. We do. As it falls through, I'm going to create a job in Azure Media Services that's going to start doing the encoding. So it goes on and gets a processor to do the encoding, and this is what I want to show you. This is the thing that's going to do the encoding. They say, all right, I want an H.264 video. It's going to do a keyframe at 2 seconds. It's going to do this H.264 layers, which is telling me the width, the height, and I'm going to create a new ping image for the thumbnail. So this, again, it's all documented out there, but it's just, I can set this for anything I want, and that's how I'm doing the encoding for the video that gets up there. And then, so what this is all doing up there is taking that blob, and it's encoding it into Azure Media Services format, and actually moving the blob from where I put it into an Azure Media Services blob as well. And eventually I'll get down here to job submit where I'll actually kick it off. So I'm going to disable that breakpoint so it goes through right away. So it seems like it's taken a little bit. All right, so we got the asset created, we got it copied, and we're moving through. All right, job submitted. So what happens then, I'm going to bop into Media Services here in Azure. Maybe. And I can go through and I can see the job in it. Come on, Wi-Fi. So I can see this newest one is processing. So I jump in and I can actually see, check the progress as it goes. So it's processing. And I can see what the output assets will be. So I can click on that as well. And as soon as they're finished, and it actually takes a little bit for these videos to go through and go through all the processing. And once they're done, I would be able to click on the publish URLs and then use the Azure Media Services player to actually view the video from here as well. So we're still processing, it goes through. So it does take a little bit to hit this up. So that's why I'm doing it asynchronously on the client, because I don't want the user to actually sit there and wait. So I did pop up an alert saying, we'll let you know when it's all finished. All right, so when it does finish, I can show you real quick how getting the key for the token worked, the write to blob storage. It was an HTTP trigger, which fires when I just hit a web address, and then it's trigger fired. And all it's saying then is I want to get the review photos, that folder that I hit before, And it's just saying, all right, I'm sending in what kind of permissions I want over here, and I ask for write permissions. This goes through, and it starts talking to Azure Storage Services, gets me write permissions, and allows me to get a unique key or a unique token so I can write to it, which returns. All right, here we go. So this is the next trigger. Once everything finished, I wrote to a queue. And this queue here has a message that's of this format. It has an HLS URI, an MPEG URI, a review ID, which I sent along for the ride with everything. So these are the URIs that or the versions that I encoded from before. So, and you'll notice that I had that review ID in there, and I also have over here a document DB attribute. This document DB attribute with this review ID in there. So because I had a review ID coming in my message queue, I actually have automatically tied up, without having to do any more work other than setting the attributes, the real review record that was in Azure, or Azure Cosmos. So all I'm doing is declaratively setting it up through attributes, and I get it. So I don't have to mess around with actually creating the document context or anything like that. I have it. So Azure Functions takes care of all that for me, which is pretty neat. And then the final one is, for me, an output binding. So I'm just saying, all right, I have another document DB one, and I'm going to write to it. So all this is doing is taking that review, creating a new videos collection, and then writing the various URLs to it. So it's going to follow through really quick, and I can go out to here, and I'm going to close it to refresh it. Hit my output assets again. This is an AMS, so everything should be here now. I can go down to the streaming and hit play. So this is the AMS player when it does come up with the wonderful conference Wi-Fi. And that's what it looks like. So we have it up in AMS now, and we're able to view it over Azure Media Services. All right, let's get that into our app. Back to number 6. All right, so now our app is back here. We're back to the beginning. I'll click into here. Oops. Click down into the build. Back into the media streaming one, and see, it came back now. So I was looking for the reviews, and I had now the videos in there, so that got pulled down. And now I have it here. So how do I display it? Zoom out a little bit. I have a video player page. This video player page just has a web view in it. The web view is bound to a video URL. That video URL in the view model is looking at the HLS URL and just setting it, if I was running on Apple, because everything was just set by HTTP by default, so I'm moving it over to SSL just to make sure running over secure. And that's all. Web view to the HLS URL. Back to here. Click on it. Clear that breakpoint. Comes up, and I'll click on this, and we have it running, streaming over that way. So really, all I'm doing is there's a bunch of function work to set it all up, writing to the initial blob storage. That initial blob storage kicked off with a blob trigger with a function to say, all right, Azure Media Services, do your thing. Create a new asset, encode it. Once you're done with encoding that asset, send a message saying that you're done. Write it to Cosmos DB into that review record. That review record has a new URL to it, and I reloaded it back into the app. So there's a lot of talking in the middle with a fairly easy concept, but there we go. All right, so we're just a bit over time. And lucky for us, all I have left is the URL for the whole demo app here. So there we go. There's a whole demo app. It has step-by-step instructions, including a link to create a free Azure account on it so you can run everything that we saw today. So with that said, please leave a review. That's actually the last slide, but I'll leave this one up so we can take pictures if you want. Thank you very much. I appreciate you all coming.